Okay. Today we have with us Patrick Ho, who is going to give us some expert tips on how to help our children sleep better. Patrick is a hypnotherapist who uses advanced hypnosis techniques to help his clients overcome their long-standing challenging issues they are facing in life, or for them to achieve breakthrough success. He comes highly qualified as a certified consulting hypnotist from the National Guild of Hypnotists from the USA. He is a certified 5-path hypnotherapist and a certified 7-path self-hypnosis teacher. Patrick is also a certified access bars practitioner. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you, Dr. Jen Lee, for having me today. It's my
Yes.
pleasure to be able to share some tips to the fellow parents. I'm also a father of two. Later on, I will try my best to explain to you what hypnosis is about and how we help in a lot in our day-to-day encounter issues. Yeah.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Can we please start off by you explaining to us what hypnosis is and how it works? Because I think most people's idea of hypnosis is what we see on TV with the hypnotist asking participants to do silly things.
Okay, the one that you saw in the TV is what we call the stage hypnosis, which is kind of an entertainment. It is real, but for the participants to be able to do that, they are very gaming. They want to have a bit of a showmanship. So the hypnotist actually screen the participants for the eligibility before they proceed with their entertainment acts. So in a very short manner, hypnosis is basically what we call a heightened state of suggestibility. What it means is when the person is in hypnosis, they are very open to suggestion. And by listening and the suggestion, it will actually, we make use of this to help the person to achieve what we call the health and wellness goals. So that's what hypnotherapy is about. It's making use of hypnosis as a kind of therapy. So I will also provide a few examples that hypnosis is very natural and it's very scientific. And basically it works with our subconscious mind, which we all have, and in fact, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. And as with all healing is actually self-healing. So by scientific, what I mean is we are working with our subconscious mind most of the time. And where subconscious mind is, we all have, but that is just like underneath the sea level. If you see my company logo, our conscious mind is like the tip of the iceberg, whereas our subconscious mind is below the sea level. This is not very noticeable and also not very easily accessible. So it's a huge ice block underneath the sea, but it is where all our power and resources are lying to be. So when I say hypnosis is very natural, basically we all go through hypnosis daily, 2 times a day, without our knowing. The first time is before we sleep, a very short moment before we sleep, and the next time is the moment when we just wake up the next day. Sometimes we are daydreaming or we are in a trance state. That is the moment that we are also in hypnosis. And in fact, if we put into a more scientific form, the hypnosis is when we are at the theta brainwave frequency, which I won't go into it too much deep into now. So just take back a bit of the history. Hypnosis can be dated back when anesthetic drug was not even invented. So last time during the ancient times, when people want to suppress their pain, so they will look for shaman, and the shaman is basically bring them into a trance state. So at that point of time, they will not feel the pain at all, and they can perform the whatever necessary operation. In fact, nowadays in the Western world, the hypnobirth is getting more and more popular. It's going to be a replacement of epidural because it doesn't have any side effect. And if you see the first hypnosis that has ever done in the history is none other than God put Adam into sleep, into a hypnotic state, and perform his operation by pulling one of his ribs and to create Eve. Yeah. So like what I mentioned, all healing is self-healing. All hypnosis is indeed self-hypnosis. By being a hypnotist, I'm just a guy, and is to bring the person into the inner world, and therefore to explore what is the issues underlying that has been affecting the person. As a teacher, I also teach self-hypnosis technique. which I will go into like a bit later on, so that the client will have some ongoing tools. They can do a self-maintenance in a totally DIY manner. Okay. When my client is in hypnotic state, we actually prolong the time so that we can make use of that opportunity and do the necessary discovery and the healing work.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing with us the interesting history of hypnosis. And it's good to know that hypnosis is actually natural and there is, scientific background behind it. Okay, I'm just going to go on to my next question. I've got many parents telling me that their children sleep very poorly at night. Okay, so some of their children have trouble sleeping, while others are able to sleep, but they wake up frequently throughout the night. So based on your area of expertise, do you have any suggestions for how parents can help their children to sleep better?
Okay, first we need to see the sleeping problem, whether it is coming from a physical or a mental perspective. By physical, basically if our body is tired, it will send some signal to our brain, like the PC, we need to go into a sleeping mode, or we need to have a shutdown so that next day you can bring it up to have a full capacity, to the full running. So when the person is being occupied or busy during the day, the body will know and it needs to shut down gradually by itself. But if we need some external forces to help the shutdown, like relying on medication, this is what we call not natural and abnormal. Then there could be another underlying reason behind it, which we need to drill a bit further. So to address the physical, we can check some simple things, like very simple things, like the child sleeping, is the child sleeping too much or taking the nap too long during the day? Then we try to reverse the cycle and make the sleeping only happen at night, okay? And also to have more sunlight, there's therefore having the child go out just to have an outdoor walk or just catch some bit sunlight. We also help the body to adjust back to producing what we call the melatonin more easily and more naturally. And also we can also have to find out whether the child sleeps better, is he or she sleep better outside the bed. If that's the case, then there could be some basic sleeping hygiene that we need to observe and get it properly done in their usual sleeping bed area. So you can refer to the blog post, which I will post it on the sleeping hygiene tips, which is published by IMH. They shared a lot of good pointers. So that covered the physical aspect. But if we go into the second aspect, which I mentioned, is on the mental. After doing all this physical thing, if the sleeping is still not improved, then we may need to look into the mental side a bit more. So there could be some event that had happened before, and some wrong perception has been formed. Therefore, it has been creating a negative impact. And this negative impact is being manifested later down the road and continue causing the trouble. So in that case, we may need to go into hypnosis to find out what could be the reason behind. But of course, this is provided that the child is able to follow certain instructions to be able to share their inner mind or inner world. I do practice another way, which is a non-invasive approach, what we call the assess bar. Assess bar is when the person just lie down and let the practitioner work on his or her head by lightly touching certain points in the head to activate the own energy points. Actually, in fact, there are 32 energy points in our head. And one day I shall invite Jane to try out herself so that she can report better the experience, be it hypnosis or the SS bar. If I put it this way, hypnosis, I would see is a more a yang part, okay? We need to communicate with the subconscious mind, and the participant do need to speak to a certain extent, okay? So that we can find out the reason. But SS bar is totally different. It's the yang yin part, when the person does not even need to speak a single word. And SS bar, there's a saying which is quite interesting, is the worst case scenario is you just have a very good head massage. But the best case scenario is your whole life will change. So like hypnosis, that has many application areas, which I won't list up here. SS bar can also be used for some tougher case like trauma, PTSD, or epilepsy. This is to able to help the person to do a lot of let go, because the person may have trapped a lot of inner thoughts, inner issues in their head just that there's no way they can let it go. So by activating the certain points, the person will be able to let go a lot of the limitations or a lot of troubles that has been bothering them. So in fact, half of my clients, they fall asleep 1/3 or midway through during the sessions. And the more they can let go themselves, the better it will be. And we will just let our body work its own magic.
So that's really very good. I mean, lots and lots of tips. And it's good that you have broken down sleeping problem into two different main areas, you know, the physical areas and the mental areas. And just to repeat for the parents that you said for the physical areas, they can help by making sure their child tries not to sleep during the day, to keep active during the day and to have lots of sunlight. And thank you for sharing with us the blog post by IMH as well on sleeping hygiene. I will make sure I have that link in the comments.
It's actually inside my blog post, which has a sub-link to the IMH. But I find it's pretty good.
Okay.
And it's a very good basic checklist. It has a lot of, it breaks down into just like 4 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Has a very good do's and don'ts, which sometimes we may just overlook and omit it. Okay. But it's sometimes the truth is, the more simple it is, people just don't buy the, the idea, and we just overlook it. Yeah, which is a pretty good thing.
Okay, great. So I will then add in the link to your blog post in the comments section then. And
yeah, in fact, we will share the script. In the script, it will have the link as well.
Okay,
so
great.
People can, by looking at the script, they can just directly go there.
Yeah, great. Okay, so it was very interesting. You mentioned about access bars helping, you know, the mental aspect of sleeping disorders or trying to solve the mental aspect of sleeping disorders. I have no idea of what access bars is. So thank you for the invitation to go down to your office and so that I can actually try it. And I think once I've tried it, I will try and feedback to the parents what it actually is.
Yeah, this is like more an overview intro, because something is like you can't teach someone to swim unless the person really do the swimming. And by swimming, then they will be able to experience it. And once you experience it, each person is different. Every assessment session is different. Then there is no hard and fast rule. Only you can tell what it does to you, because everyone individual is unique. Yeah.
Sure. So it's good to know that for access bars, the clients don't really have to be very compliant. And you know, it can actually just be done on them. Because I think a lot of our children with special needs may not be able to understand or be able to follow instructions as well. Yeah. So access bars will be something that they can try.
Correct. Because when I was preparing this interview, I was reading up a bit more on the script on the access bar. It actually helps on the epilepsy. How you put it?
Epilepsy?
Epilepsy, yeah. It actually helps on epilepsy, because if we are handling a person who has epilepsy history, we actually say certain statement in front so that the body will listen to it and adapt to it accordingly. So access bar is very magic. I mean, I find it's magical. It actually opens up a lot of opportunities and possibilities that we may not have think of before. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So I look forward to, you know, trying out access bars at your office once this COVID-19 thing settles down.
We can start with the in part, which is access bar. Let you experience it. After you open up the idea to hypnosis, then I will bring you to hypnosis. But we won't visit the past. I'll just give you a positive future, a positive moment. What in your life you're trying to achieve, we will try to do on the positive part. So hypnosis can do both. It can heal, and it can also project the future. So it's very flexible, because it's all works with our mind.
Okay, great. So the other issue, if you could go into a little bit more detail, would be how can parents help their children to fall asleep easily?
Okay, so later on I will do a very quick demo of the script, but basically I think before that, I would say is to set up a good environment, the sleeping hygiene, and try to anchor the moment when you observe that the children can actually fall asleep easily and soundly, so that next time you can repeat this at will. By doing repeat it at will, we have to find that moment, anchor it, which I'm going to elaborate a bit more later on. So I'm going to use a modified VAK approach. The original full version is to talk to our own self. But because I understand in this situation, the children may have certain challenges by talking to themselves at this moment yet. So as parent, I would suggest the parent can actually tell the children instead, okay? So I'll just treat the script a little bit. So you can just lie down with your kid or sit next to them, to their bed, and begin with a simple deep breathing exercise. This helps to calm their mind down and slow down the brain wave. Okay, so the breathing usually, or the most effective is nose in and mouth out. When you breathe out, you use the mouth so that you can exhale more air. When you're making a sound, it's perfectly okay. That's why we have the sign, whatever, is to help our body. So do it 3 times. Then for the more details on the breathing, for the relaxation, you can also refer to the blog post, which I will list down the link here. So try to do a lot of VAK, visual, audio, and kinesthetic, by directing the attention to feel and tell yourself the truth that what you observe in your environment. Observe the tone of voice, and this is the key to bring your children to a certain sleeping state. Because our mind actually picks up a lot of subliminal message by our voice alone. So I'm going to start the script, which is also listing down here. So imagine I'm the parent, imagine Janelle is the children. So I will be telling Janelle, you are lying down on your bed. Your head is resting on your pillow. You can feel the support of the pillow. Is it firm or soft? You may not be feeling it a moment ago, but by mentioning it, you start to have that feeling. And it's very dark. It could be dark, okay? It's totally dark. Then you can't see anything, or there's a certain faint light afar. It is so dark, so calm, and so relaxing. So this part addressed the visual part. Earlier part addressed the kinesthetic part. Now the environment is so silent that you can't hear anything except my voice. Or you can hear the second hand of the clock moving sound. So this part is actually addressed the auditory part. So we have done basically the VAK. Now doing all this VAK is to not talking to the child conscious mind. It's basically talking to the child subconscious mind. We try to bypass the conscious mind, short circuit it. And once the child's subconscious mind is received, convinced, and agree with what you are saying, then we can go a bit deeper in to start our giving up our direct suggestion for the body to relax further. And that will help the child to go into sleeping much faster and quicker. You are getting more and more relaxed. The more relaxed your mind is, the more relaxed your body will be. And observe, in this kind of hypnotic tone, normally we speak a softer and a tone lower, and the deeper the voice we can be, the better it is. We have to be a bit congruent with what we're trying to say. We're trying to make the children to get into a sleeping state. And as your body relaxes, your mind relaxes, and your body relaxes much further. Now, go deeper, deeper, relax. Go deeper. Go deeper with every breath that you exhale. Good. Feeling safe, secure, and attending only to the sound of my voice. Deeper and deeper, relax, as if all you care about is how much deeper you can go. You are doing very well. So you give them some encouragement along the way. You may doze off any time now. In fact, you do not need to finish hearing what I'm going to say. And you'll have a nice sound sleep and wake up the next day morning feeling energized and refreshed. So normally, at some point of time, the children may go sleeping. Once their brainwave frequency slow down and they are hearing the suggestion, they will follow it. And the more you talk about it, it's actually deepening. So we are combining a few tricks together. But of course, today I'm demonstrating is just the use of the voice.
Yes, I can tell you.
We can do using the support of the movement as well if we want to enhance it. But of course, you can always try it by spending time with the kids lying with them, it's like telling the bedtime story. The bedtime story is the same thing, just that people don't know what's the mechanics behind. So they thought, oh, every time I hear the bedtime story, I will fall asleep better. Because they have the good memory, it happened to someone, they remember it, and they will have that built into a habit. So what we're trying to do now here is to build that kind of habit. Instead of bedtime story, you describe the environment, you put in the faces, and if they can catch it and they have the good sleep, they remember it. Next time you just need to recall it. So in the deeper session, I will do what we call the anchoring. You catch the moment and then you build the anchor. Then when next time you do the anchor, it will shorten the thing. So maybe I will add into the script. I think this just as a beginning part. If not, it will be a bit too long. Yeah, but just to get you have a feel of it, how it works.
Okay, sure. And I'm sure it helps, if they have a very nice, deep, hypnotic voice that you have, that will very
Everyone
easily put them
can do
to
it.
sleep.
It's what we call the practice make perfect. Everyone can be hypnotized. With practice, it will just get better and better. So what we did is, what we've been doing is very good. We have a video, we have an audio, then people can listen to it. If you can get hypnotic by yourself, then you will be able to know how it will work for your child, because each individual is different. Yeah.
Yes. Can I just clarify something about the VAK, the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, the process that you just led us through just now? Is that something that has to be done with a child who can understand and can follow the instructions?
In this way, no, because the parent is the one telling them. So the parent is the one doing all the talking. The parent is the one describing it from a visual perspective, describing it from an auditory perspective, describing from a kinesthetic perspective. When the children pick up all these signals and their subconscious mind know and agree, because subconscious mind communicate is using 5 senses. They don't use words. They use more on the feeling, more on the approach. So we are not talking to the child conscious mind. We are talking to the child subconscious mind and try to get their buy-in. So when they are in sync, in the same frequency, that we know they are getting there, that's where the parents start to put in what their suggestions that wanted the child to have. Relax, go deeper, sleep, whatever. Yeah. So it's like the child need not understand this at all. But what the parent trying to do is actually stating the fact, because the parent is also sitting in the same room. The parent will be able to describe to the child. If the child agree, consciously, their conscious mind will be able to follow the instruction. We are trying to lead them into step by step. So first of all, you must get, hey, come on in, listen. Oh, okay, what I'm telling you, oh, true. Okay, you're telling me it's correct. Then I'll open up and listen.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. Okay, going on to my next question is how parents can ensure that their children have a good sleep throughout the night, and have a really better quality of sleep.
Okay, so earlier on we have a glimpse of what is suggestion is all about. So I would say to have good sleep throughout the night is by doing it through, by giving a lot of good direct suggestions. Now that the subconscious mind is becoming receptive. For example, he or she is hypnotized now. So you can call yourself hypnotist by now. And what you can do is you can be creative in planting in whatever seeds, good seeds that you want the child to achieve, to have or to be. Something like below, you can tell them they're going to have a good night's rest. They are going to do a good rest to help them to be healthy, stronger, to have a clearer mind, build up a better immune system, feeling more energized and refreshed, feeling wonderful. And one key thought is the waking up in the middle of the night is something in the past. It's not going to happen anymore. So you just tell them, then the body will just execute if the body agrees with it. Of course, during the day, you also have to give in something that you are getting better. I don't see you waking up so much, whatever, is to reinforce it. Because the body will know what to do. If he or she doesn't want to wake up so much at night, and they start to feel the impact, they will just want to have it more. So the key part is when the person is in the open receptive state, we will drive this suggestion into their mind. So earlier on, Jen, the one I will highlight is you can reinforce it. They are no longer going to wake up in the middle of the night. Of course, try to reduce the use of the negative tone. Just put it into a positive way. Yeah. So these are some wordsmith things you can work with. And one more part is you now know the secrets to have a good night's sleep, and you promise to use it to the fullest to help you to have better health, stronger body, and your family members will be all excited and glad that you have changed to a renewed, more independent person that they are so proud of. Isn't that a wonderful, good feeling? So it's also kind of thing that you try to drive that into the person. And if the person wanted to have that, they will do it. But if the person doesn't want to have that, that is another issue that we need to deal with. Because in some cases, some person, they don't want to get better because in their mind, they may think that once they get better, they will lose all their attention. So that is called a secondary gain. Yeah. So this is on another level, but we will deal with the 80% first. The secondary gain is like 20% is the odd case. So this could happen also. But we, of course, like what I say, we deal with the normal cases. By right, people will want to achieve something good to them. If they still perpetually want to be in a victim mode, then there is deeper underlying issues. That is very mental.
So I understand you just mentioned that it is about speaking to the subconscious mind. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned about using positive words instead of the negative words. So would that be saying, you know, you will have a good, you know, peaceful sleep tonight, right, instead of saying you will not wake up during the night?
Yeah. So that's why the word I say is waking up in the middle of the night is a thing in the past. Mm-hmm. That means it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen anymore. Yeah. So we don't use a not, because subconscious mind don't understand not. They will just execute whatever follow after not. You will not wake up in the middle of the night. Then you will wake up in the middle of the night. So don't use not. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Good question. Yeah.
Okay. So if I mean, you've given us lots of tips, and I'm sure the parents will find it very useful. And so if parents would want to work with you to improve their own or their child's sleep, how can they contact you?
Okay. They can find me in my website. On the website, I have listed down all the contact methods. You can click on my lower right-hand corner, the button. They can contact me by phone. I do give the free phone consultation. We can have a chat to find out a bit more on what kind of issue that the parent may want to work on. It could be on their children, or sometimes it could be on themselves, because a lot of times they spend a lot of time with the children. They may be facing a lot of pressure, a lot of stress within them. So they also have to find a way to let go of pressure, because we are like pressure cooking. We have a lot of issues. Why? Because it can be something to do from the past that has not been dealt with, and it's like still brewing. So to find a way out, when we reduce our current pressure, it will help us to have a better future. So the moment of now is very important. Yeah.
So good point that you brought up. That it's not only just your kids having a good sleep, that as parents, you need to have a good sleep yourself. Okay, so great. I will have the link to your website in the comments section as well. And I understand that you have a special offer for anyone watching this video.
Sure. For kids physio referral, I will be able to give a 10% discount for all the services that I provide. And I will also be doing something special, is to give another 10% to donate to a charity of the choice. It could be in the children's name, or it could be anonymous name. So I'm glad to do that. Okay. So it's kind of paying forward. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, I find it's like sleeping is like our basic necessities, the needs. If we can't have the good night's sleep, it affects our day-to-day bodily function to a whole lot. Yeah. So it's very serious.
That's right. And we do know that having a good night's sleep will improve your immunity as well, which I think at this present time with the COVID-19, that's really important. Yeah. Right? So Patrick, thank you very much for your time and for sharing with us your expertise. I'm sure the parents will find your suggestions very useful. And I would like to also thank the parents for taking the time to watch this video. please feel free to reach out to either Patrick or to myself if you've got any questions, and let us know what you think of the video. And you have any suggestions, other topics you would like us to cover, please let us know as well. So everybody stay safe and healthy, and goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Patrick.